Right, aloha. Welcome, 808 Wellness Community. This is our Illuminations show. My name is Sara Schroepfer. I'm the owner of 808 Wellness. And we have here with us today April Energy, who is a member of our Healing Arts Network program. And she is an amazing healer here on Maui, but she works all remotely. So whether you're here with us on Maui or anywhere else in the world, you will have access to her. She is a Reiki master who works with and teaches intuitives. So we're going to learn a little bit more about her today and the work that she does. So first, we'll go ahead and welcome you, April. Thank you so much for coming today.
Aloha.
Aloha. And so we're here to get to know you a little bit. So would you like to share a little bit about your story, perhaps what brought you to healing work, if it was your own healing path or an experience in your life that led you here?
Yeah. When I was in my early 20s, I was misdiagnosed with bipolar disorder because I absorbed everybody else's energy and didn't really react in the way that was suitable. And so I was misdiagnosed with bipolar disorder, and I didn't want to take medication. So I sought out a Zen meditation practice. It was really important for me to be clear. I eventually got off the medication and I decided that it was going to be a life practice. So I ended up getting a camper and traveling around the country, staying in the woods and drawing and practicing these clearing techniques. And I learned to manage my energy. And then I sought out Reiki because it was just a wonderful benefit to my meditation practice.
That's awesome. And what was that like having a camper life? And how long were you living it?
The best thing ever. I still like really wish I it was I'm like I love nature and I just get so much energy from nature, and the freeness of being in a camper, just leaving and going to the next place was just such an incredible feeling.
That sounds amazing. And then, so you learned Reiki, was it first for yourself or was it to start working with clients right away, or was it kind of an organic process?
So I was having one of those body, heard anyone that has like the body empathic sensitive thing. I was just going through it and I went and got Reiki on my own. And the lady I was getting Reiki from, she was like, yeah, I get Reiki too when I'm doing Reiki on you. And I'm like, I want a Reiki certification right now. I'm like, I want all of that all the time. This is the best feeling ever.
And would you like to take a moment for those that may not be familiar with Reiki, explaining what it is and a little bit about the background?
Yeah, so Reiki is originated from Japan. It's an energy healing modality. It clears blockages in your energy centers in your body. It also helps peace, creating peace of mind, awareness, and just a more healthy lifestyle.
Mhm. Nice. And you mentioned the word empath. I think that too, for those that might not be as familiar with what an empath is, how would you explain that to somebody?
An empath is somebody that absorbs people, places, and just their environment totally. And it can get quite confusing if you're overwhelmed with those sensations.
Hmm. Okay. And then how do you use Reiki to help you with that empathic ability?
So Reiki just helps clear that energy right out, and you, if you like are having an emergency, you could do it anywhere. You can do it while you're in an airplane. You can do it while, I wouldn't recommend driving, but I do it when I drive. It's just, it calms the nervous system down. It just gets rid of that excess energy.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. So, when you are using Reiki treatments with your clients, how would you describe what to expect for a client who may be new to this work?
So I like to look at it. I like to look at everything as energy. So I envision myself being this energy ball, and my client being this energy ball. And for a moment, we come together and create one little energy ball. And I clean their energy, and then I pop right off. And I'm like, all right, have a good day. And that's kind of how it feels like to me. It's different for each client because we're all so different as humans, and lots of people always like express how calm and just solid they feel after a session.
Mm-hmm. All right. And for somebody who is having the treatment, is there anything you suggest for them beforehand to get ready, or what for what they can expect while they're receiving your energy ball?
Yeah, just for comfortable clothing. For anybody that drinks, just, you know, hold off for 24 hours, maybe 2 days before the session. Also be open to receiving something new, because it is new and you have to be able to be willing to receive it to get it.
Yeah, absolutely. And what about what a client can expect afterwards, after they receive Reiki from you? Do you have any suggestions for them for that?
I like to think of it as an energy massage. So I always say drink lots of water, because we just flushed out a lot of energy, especially for the people that just had it for the very first time.
Mm-hmm.
I also recommend just relaxing and just reflecting and maybe taking a walk out in nature.
Mm-hmm. And any tools or tips for them afterwards? Is it individualized per person, or do you have some general things that you suggest for people after a session?
I pretty much suggest that. I always am open to my clients, so they can call me whenever they want. I don't do like a traditional suggestion thing. I'm just always available. So they always text me and call me and ask me questions and whatnot. So yeah.
Nice. And so for somebody that is new to this as well, or even somebody that has been doing energy work in person and is hearing about remote work for the first time, you do all of your work online. So how can you explain this to somebody that's not familiar with remote work? What to expect versus something that would be in person?
Yeah. So remote Reiki is it's energy work. It's linear to time and space, so it can work anywhere. And it's really hard to describe this actually. It's hard to put into words. It's more of an experience thing. But if you're just willing to receive and be accepting that it does work, it works just as well as it does remotely as it does in person. I had a client when I was doing remote Reiki on them saying that it felt like an energy bath.
I like that. That's nice. One analogy I like to use, or I heard when I first was learning Reiki, is it's like a radio station. So we have radio waves that go through the air, and you can't see the station, it's far away, but you can still be in your car or at home and turn on the radio and receive that station. And it's almost as if like you're adjusting the person's station that might be a little staticky to something that's totally clear. I found that useful, but that I think too, to understand how healing can take place out of locate, or remotely, I guess, through location. So, but yeah, so definitely very effective work. If you've never experienced it before, I highly recommend it. And now your website is aprilcurry.com currently, and there may be some updates coming up, some exciting new changes, and the work that you focus there is teaching intuitives and also doing energetic forecasts. Would you like to tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so I wrote a book. It's called Awaken Your Intuitive Intelligence. It's for those who feel like they want to support their intellectual intelligence with intuitive intelligence to create a more balanced life. It's really important to use these gifts that you have, you intrinsically have them, because you'll be more certain about your life will feel more fulfilling, you'll go with the flow, it'll be a lot less stressful, and you'll have a lot more certainty about the decisions you make in life. As for the energy forecast on YouTube, I do it once a month. It's a lot of fun. I do a little reading, I feel the energy, and the energy gives me words, and I have a forecast. And this month tripped me out. It was like really slow energy for a little bit, and now it's speeding up, and everyone's open and ready to rock whatever they're doing right now in the month of March. So
All right. Is there any more you can share about that from the March forecast?
Oh, March 4th.
Yeah. Well, it's March 4th. Right?
Yeah, so we were originally sitting in this dead spot in February where we were just like working through our shadows. And March just kind of feels like this slingshot energy of catapulting us to the next level. And if you're willing to just follow the breadcrumbs and take every little moment and every little thing just in the present moment as it is, you're going to do fine. But if you make these like big plans, you might be limiting yourself because the energy is changing so fast.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a little bit about March forecasts. It's pretty cool, actually. I'm excited. The next 3 months are going to be like that.
And that is exciting. And I think that is like very much enforces the lessons of 2020 of like, don't overplan.
Yeah.
Everything has been changing so quickly, and being grounded in the present moment will be a really great way to stay in that flux of change that life brings us. And I like how you said that you limit your possibilities if you hold too quickly or hard to the plan, let's say. There's so many other exciting things that are possible that when we get narrow-sighted on what it is that we want to manifest specifically, we're excluding out other possibilities that might bring these things to us in a greater or more mysterious way than we could have imagined with our heads. So that's exciting news for the next few months. That's exciting, and make sure everyone to stay tuned in for next month's forecast through April Energy's YouTube channel. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about just your daily routine? I see a surfboard in the background, so I'm gonna go. Sure.
Yeah. So I in the mornings I always go for a walk and I do breath work for an hour while I'm walking. I have a pretty extreme morning routine. I do 40 minutes of meditation, then I do 30 minutes of self Reiki, and then I go work out or I go surfing, and then I start my day. That's my morning every morning.
How early do you get up?
I get up at 5:30.
It's a great time to get up, actually, because the rest of the world is kind of quiet at that time still. So it's easier to drop into meditation. Well, that sounds awesome. What do you recommend for your clients or people that you work with to incorporate that in a daily routine?
So I'm a big fan of using clearing techniques, which is meditating, yoga, going out in nature, and then also making sure that their external stimuli is nice and managed. So when I say external stimuli, I mean like looking on your phone, hanging out with groups of people, and just making sure you don't overdo it. If you do both of those things, then you can stay a lot more balanced. And for those who absorb a lot of energy, that helps keep it even keel, and you can pretty much rock life if you just keep up with that.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. And and what else would you recommend for people, let's say maybe for the clients that you work with that you're working with their intuitive abilities and how to develop that? What does that look like when you're working with somebody?
So usually I start out with a Reiki session just to open up their chakras. Then we do an intuitive reading, and I find out what their intuitive abilities are and what they can do to work on them and what's coming up in their life that we can do to work on their intuitive abilities. Then I go over their chakra blueprint about what chakras are closed and which ones need to be open to open up their spiritual perception more. And then I help them out with behavioral stuff and life management, and then support them in this new journey, because it's a totally different mindset than just your standard regular life. It's like a whole new lifestyle. So that's kind of the gist of what I do.
Mm-hmm. And how did you experience your life changing when you first got into this work?
I always felt like a little chaotic, like on the inside, and just fragile. And I felt like I just was just too sensitive and I didn't know what was wrong with me. And then after I started doing this work, I realized that I was super grounded. I really like certain of what I want to do in my life, and I listen to the higher power, God, or we're gonna call it, and I listen to that voice, and I go where it tells me to go, and it's never failed me. And since I've been doing that, like, I mean, that's truly like the ultimate thing for me, is being able to listen to that voice and following it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Awesome. And so do you do this work full time then? Have you found this to be your full-time occupation, or are there other things you incorporate in your time?
Right now it's full time, and yeah, I'm really excited to see where it goes, because it is just starting, so I'm excited.
Yeah, no, that's really exciting. So tell us about some things that are in the works for you that are coming up in the next few months, and the work that you offer.
So I wrote a book called Awaken, Your Intuitive Intelligence. That book should be coming out in a couple of months. I also have a new website launch that's coming out. And I'm going to have a program for teaching intuitives how to acquire their intuitive abilities. And that should all be coming up in the next 3 months.
Okay, that sounds amazing, and definitely something for people to stay tuned into. When you're, as you're developing this work, is there any resources that you would recommend for people that are developing their intuition and really embracing and incorporating that in their life, that you found useful in your journey?
Resources? I mean, I love nature. Nature's like the ultimate resource to me. Picking up a meditation practice is the ultimate thing for me, because I felt, for me, and I'm sure for a lot of people, not everyone, that I felt like words just jumbled things around when I was at that state. And so being able to have that quiet time really just softens the nervous system and makes you feel more clear. And that's when you can start getting these intuitive hits. So I would say seek out a meditation practice, or find like a yoga studio, anything that calms that nervous system down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's definitely helpful. And you mentioned you worked with a Reiki teacher. Did you work with her for all, for those that don't know, Reiki has three, well, depending on what tradition you're in, a few different levels, let's say level 1, 2, Reiki master teacher, and there's different types of Reiki. What tradition did you study in, and did you stick with the same teacher, or what was that like for you?
I had a super intuitive woman from Wisconsin who taught me level 1, 2, and 3. And it was advanced, so we didn't do a Reiki master. It was 1, 2, and 3. We did it over a weekend. She actually let me stay at her house.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I flew to Wisconsin because she was incredible. She was such a sweet lady. She just gave me like almost like kind of a retreat and immersed me in like intuitive discussions. And then I wanted my master, and I also wanted that stability and the traditional teaching. So I ended up going under another girl in Colorado. And she was really just like by the books, and then taught me my Reiki master certification.
And by the books, you mean, was it like the traditional Sui tradition, or?
Yeah,
okay.
Sui, yeah.
Okay. And I'm so curious, because I'm actually from Wisconsin. I'm like, who was your teacher in Wisconsin?
Oh my gosh, I forgot her name. Hold on. I'm trying to think. Oh my gosh, she's so beautiful. It's like one of those things where like someone's so sacred you forget their name.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm sure it'll pop in later.
Kristen. Her name's Kristen.
Oh, okay.
She's a doula Reiki practitioner, so she helps mothers, and Reiki's the baby and get them.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's really actually one of my favorite things to do, is to Reiki a baby that's still in a mom's belly, because it's just such a cool connection.
I have a little bit of an addiction with Reikiing babies. I love it. They're like pure energy. I love it.
Yeah. They do. They love it. They respond to it. And it's just so cool to be able to connect in with this little being that's inside of somebody else, you know, and sometimes if they're, depending on where they're at, and they can feel them move around, and it's so fun. That's so funny because I did do my level 2 training in somewhere in Wisconsin. This lady, I drove to her. I was no longer living there, but I drove to get my level 2 with her because she was so awesome. So cool parallel.
That's cool.
Yeah, who'd have thought Wisconsin, you know, like cool things can come from there though, but not where I'm from. But anyway, so I'm just kind of thinking too, like, is there anything that you would like to share with the audience today of like the work that you do, a sample, or I mean, you did a little bit of your forecast sharing. So I don't know, I'm just thinking if there's anything that you can give the viewers a taste for, or.
Yeah, I mean, give you guys a taste. I feel like if you're a person who's ready to level up from a heart space and like really harness your intuitive gifts, getting Reiki and getting intuitive readings are really beneficial for you. And I really don't know how to give a taste to that because everyone's so different. It's like a unique package for each person. So it's, I wish I could though.
Well, if you want to experience April Energy's work, you can definitely contact her through her website or through 808 Wellness, and we can get you in with a session online with you. And is there anything else that you want to share with us today about the journey you've been on, or maybe even how people in your life responded to it as you fully embraced your gifts and your path in life?
Yeah, I would say that I was definitely nervous when I started getting clearer and clearer and having a different mindset and a different perspective, because I didn't feel like I was going to be accepted by my family members and friends. And I did lose a few friends, but I realized the more authentic you are and the more just honest you are about who you are, you're going to attract people that are just like you and are just as fulfilling or more. So like, I really enjoyed that process. It was scary, but I enjoyed it a lot.
Mm-hmm. And what is it like for you now that you're just living your truth and fully immersed in?
So many cool friends. I just have so many good-hearted like humans that I'm friends with, and I couldn't ask for more, and they're all teaching me how to grow. And I will say I had a period where I didn't have a lot of friends because I just had to, unfortunately, take out, the old April and bring in the new April, and same thing with the friends, take out the old friends, bring in the new friends. And I am so happy I went through that phase because now I have beautiful friends.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And everyone comes into our life at the time in our life that's important, and there's a connection there. And then as there's changes in life, that we just move on and find those that are of similar interest and like and vibration. So that's awesome. I'm happy for you. You definitely have very clean, clear energy. I can definitely tell you have like quite the practice, to be so clear, and that's awesome. And it's also so important when you're somebody that's going to be helping other people through their own, is to have your own foundation and base. So that's great. So we have a lot of things to look forward to from you in the next few months, the release of your book, and congratulations, because I know that's no small feat to publish a book and really commit to the process of writing and getting through all of that. So congrats to you. We look forward to reading it ourselves, and then your new programs and packages that will be coming out to develop your intuition. Do you have any words of wisdom or anything that you want to share with everyone right now from your experience, or that's coming to you, that would be helpful or enlightening?
Just be yourself. Just be yourself, be authentic, and just express who you are.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. Like I said, there's more information on your website about your services, as well as on 808wellness.com/featured-practitioners. That's where you can find out more about April. We'll have her services listed there, as well as a more in-depth article if you'd like to learn more about you. April, thank you so much for joining us today, and we look forward to more to come from you. And thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you.
All right, take care and aloha.
Aloha.